Is this it?
We're live, baby.
We're live?
We're live right now.
You could be live or you could be dead.
How does it feel to pop your podcast cherry?
Dude.
What the fuck did you do to my... How am I supposed to get
Just crawl
pretty
over or walk around. The cable's too
orgasmic.
tight. We need a longer cable for that. It's already two
Bro.
cables that are connected into one.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
What's-
Also, wait, check to see if the cardioid is on for that thing. There's a little on and off switch on the
Cardi
top.
B is on?
It's on? All right,
It's on,
cool.
buddy.
Cardi
We're good.
B.
And welcome back
And welcome back.
to the 2 a.m. podcast, episode
Number
65 or
Say it, say it.
65.
It's like
With- As you can tell, we are joined in the stew.
with someone new.
We drop in bars.
Yeah, we are.
Someone
Down
new to
here
the
at
audience,
stew?
Yeah, dude.
but not new to us.
You know how it do.
No. Old friend of the podcast, even way back before it started. DJ, mixer, producer,
Dude.
extraordinaire.
Can we just do this all day?
Landon Valentine.
Millie
Yeah,
Rock.
hit that shit. Hit
Hey.
that Millie Rock.
Hey.
AKA Master Chef.
Yo, do you ever hide it in your sock?
Sometimes.
On rare occasion?
rare occasions, yeah.
Well, welcome to the stew, Landon.
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
let's just kick it off with who are you? And let me rephrase that in a nicer
Who
way.
are you, man?
What is it that you are doing currently? Where would you like to be in 5 years?
Damn.
And
Damn.
what would a good third question be?
What inspires you?
Yeah, there we go.
Dude, all right. Right now, I'm training to sling some cars.
Ooh,
So I'm now a car slinger.
you're
Car slinger, okay.
Car
What are
slinger.
you slanging?
Slinging Fords.
Ford? Hell yeah, baby.
Ford vehicles.
Sell a
Like
Raptor.
Ford.
Built
sell a
Ford tough.
GT 500, baby. Let's go.
That's right. 5 years? Shoot.
That's a big question.
That is a big question.
It's a big question.
In 5 years,
What's the vision?
the vision is to be able to provide for a family, not have a family yet, but provide for a family, like be like financially stable.
Gotcha.
Stable income?
Yeah.
No, I agree. You know what?
I respect that.
I'm so happy you said that
Mm.
because that's something I feel like a lot of people don't really focus on. They like to say it,
Yeah.
obviously, but they get wrapped up in buying just a whole bunch of shit,
Yeah.
which explains why the
Like
majority of our
shoes.
nation lives paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it's like the fact that you're thinking about it
Yeah.
at 21, it's a solid base.
21.
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
most-
22 now.
20,
Shoot, man.
22? Shit, happy my bad.
Yeah, the
Oh,
15th.
fuck yeah, I forgot. Yeah, happy birthday.
Hey, thanks, man.
Belated.
Hey,
Thanks,
bro.
man.
Happy birthday.
Hey, thanks, man.
You know what?
22.
Happy birthday.
Hey.
22
isn't far
years
enough to
young,
count,
baby.
Yo, thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just the fact that you're even thinking about that.
Yeah.
Solid place to kick it off. And how would you, what's the ideal way to make that money? Car salesman is obviously a lot of fun, but are there other passions that you're currently
Yeah.
investing into?
See, music is more of just a passion project. And
Mhm.
if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to like drop everything for that right now.
No, I got you.
Yeah, so
Makes sense. Have a day job.
exactly.
Do music on the side.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you did sign with a record label recently.
Yeah. Small, it's first step.
What's the name of them? Give them a shout out.
Shout out to Move for Soul or Soul Records.
Soul Records?
Interesting. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Good
not know
shit,
that.
bro.
No, my man's he's got a label. He's on his way.
I'm signed, baby.
Signed,
Yeah.
sealed, and delivered.
Bro, we love to hear it.
I'm young.
Oh,
I'm young.
That's a good song though, man.
don't tempt me.
But Landon, you came in here giving us the notion that you wanted to talk about the big stuff.
We have some
Dude, the
shit
big
to
stuff.
talk
Because
about.
I mean, we got to talk about the big stuff if we're bringing in Big Landy.
Yeah.
Obviously, music is dope. We'll get there at some point during.
It's all
this
about the big
podcast.
stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
However, I wanted to kick it off with something that's on the forefront of a lot of people's minds right now, and that is the Pfizer COVID vaccine.
Bum, bum, bum.
FDA
So-
I
approved.
had an hour discussion with two friends yesterday night about this.
So we got more insight.
We basically had a podcast episode about the fucking COVID vaccine.
Yeah, but was it like low IQ kind of thoughts or?
No, it was a good conversation.
like high doubles, low triple digit.
It was a pretty fried conversation.
Honestly, there were some fried
Well,
points. yeah.
it did get FDA approved 2 days ago, right?
Did it?
I believe so.
I
will
think it did. Yeah.
Google that. The Pfizer. Well,
Did the Pfizer vaccine get approved?
it FDA.
Stay tuned
Well,
tonight.
this is the obvious first question to ask.
Yeah.
I think we'll all collectively answer this. Landon, are you taking this vaccine?
Hell no.
It approves of emergency use of second coronavirus vaccine. What?
Well, it's like you have to take this thing in stages.
Really?
There's multiple stages to this vaccine.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
And what is this thing about new strains that people are talking about?
This is so that's something that recently
It's
popped
like,
up in the
vaccine comes out, and then there's
In,
like,
like,
oh
Britain or
fuck, we got
something.
another
Yeah.
strain.
apparently it's only in the UK, which fucking UK is just a shit show, so I'm not shocked.
It's probably their seaweed or some shit.
But basically they had, and also the subways are packed because everyone wants to get the fuck out because they put new lockdown restrictions.
Public transportation problems.
Dude, it was insane.
Dude.
But other than that, I don't know anything about it really.
Yeah.
Well, I actually did Google a little bit about it before we got up and running today.
Nice.
And it turns out that the second strain or the new strain isn't anything to really be alarmed about. For example, the thing I was mainly worried about for this vaccine was the fact that viruses tend to mutate.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so we have this vaccine for one strain of coronavirus. Well, what if it mutates into something that it doesn't, the original insurance plan doesn't cover it anymore? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You got to get a whole nother shot. Well, this is a perfect example of that. Do you guys remember H1N1?
Yeah.
The swine flu?
Yes.
So it
Swine
turns out
flu?
the original vaccine that they made for that still works today, despite there being a whole bunch of mutations and variations of the original H1N1 virus. And it turns out that the mutations, while they are changes to the original formula, so to say,
Mhm.
are similar enough to the point where the original vaccine still works for any mutations that come out or that arise in the future, at least as of right now.
Okay.
So the thought with this coronavirus vaccine is that, yes, there are probably going to be mutations. However, this vaccine alone will help deal with those mutations because the odds of it changing so drastically to the point where you need a new vaccine
Mhm.
are incredibly minimal.
Interesting.
So that was my big concern. I'm like, well, are we just going to need to get fucking new vaccines every year like it's the flu shot?
Yeah.
But
So
That's not the
Landon, I'm
case.
curious, why are you? It's a no for you, correct?
Yeah. 100%.
call him Randy Jackson. It's a no for me, dog.
I'm curious to know your answer.
Fuck
Why?
them kids.
Well, it's simple. Like, if your body can fight it off, it's natural. I'm more of a natural kind of guy.
I agree.
Takes the holistic approach.
I'm not gonna lie. I had it, and I didn't even get tested because I didn't want to get tested. I didn't want to be like a statistic.
Mm-hmm.
My mom got it too, and my mom has lung issues,
Yeah.
and she was fine.
Hmm.
I think it's pointless. Well, not pointless. If you can fight it off, fight it off.
Yeah.
Like I literally had like
Yeah.
a sore throat. It wasn't even bad for 3 days, and the whole rest of the week I thought I was like fighting something, and then I was
Mhm.
just done. I didn't have anything else.
Hmm.
All my friends got sick, but like it wasn't that bad. Plus, if you're young, dude, why take a 95% effective in preventing COVID-19 when there's like a 0.02% chance
There's
of
like
dying?
Yeah.
for our age group, it's like a 99% chance of making it
Well-
out unscathed.
Yeah.
The argument that people would usually throw out is, okay, you're doing it for the older people, the other people. But even then, if you take the vaccine, you can still transmit it. It's not like it's a done deal. You can never get it. Like,
Yeah, that was always something that I feel like was kind of circulating throughout the media, was once you got it, you can't really get it again.
Mhm.
And that's not true.
just complete horseshit.
Yeah, you can absolutely catch it twice.
Dude,
like,
I'm gonna say it again. The Truman Show. I feel like there's some fucking head that's just watching everything, and then they're playing it off as a show, like it's, and all of this is just scripted to be like, oh, first stage has been approved by FDA, you know, fucking.
Mhm.
But really, it's just some shit they're trying to put in us
I don't know.
I don't
for
know.
other shit.
I don't know.
Dude,
you know,
it has to be, man.
that's a big conspiracy going around right now. Is a lot of people think they're putting microchips and shit in it.
It's not microchips. It's probably something that could probably, I don't know. It's like, just think of brainwashing, but using the body.
But
Yeah.
I'm more with you on this. Why is our first fucking route of action to make a vaccine? Why can't we share like high quality information about how to strengthen your immune system, how to live a healthy lifestyle, so then your immune system can fight it off because it's capable of doing that.
It's not about your health.
It really isn't.
It's not about your
It's
health. at
really
all.
it's a case by case basis. Like, it just hits different people.
It's not
way
about
harder.
it's about control. It's about controlling people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all it is. Like,
But like,
Bow down to your master kind of shit.
Just think about it. Florida has been open, like open. You don't even have to wear a mask like anywhere.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they're
And they-
horrendous.
No, they're not. The cases are sure they're high, and everyone keeps reporting. Oh, you can't like trust the news.
Yeah.
Their cases are high, but their deaths this whole time.
Yeah,
Whole
that's,
time
that's one of the
going
big
down,
things
down,
I've seen.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, their cases are steadily rising to a pretty alarming degree.
But here's the thing, like I'm curious because one of the people I was having a discussion with yesterday was Spice Rack, and he was like,
The basil himself.
he's a first responder, so he refused to take the vaccine because he's gonna wait some time before he does. But he's talking about certain coworkers that have gotten it, 23 years old, our age, and they're having stuff like they're having strokes. Their resting heart rate is like 115 per minute.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see why it has such a different effect on different people.
Dude, it came out too quick, first of all.
What do you mean?
The vaccine. Dude,
That's
like, okay.
yeah.
It was an accident, right? And they were like, oh, something's working. Let's just fucking put it out there.
It's
No.
just
Immediately.
no.
It felt like it was the first thing. Like,
it's a thing for revenue too. It's just money.
yeah.
I don't think that's what it is. Like they tested
Well, think
it
about
for
it,
sure.
dude. The
but
first piece of news I heard, okay, was on Market Watch, and it was for the stock market. It was saying, oh, places like CVS, Albertsons, and all this stuff already signed in to be like one of the first people to provide the vaccine, right?
Mhm. Which just makes sense for business reasons. Like, yeah, you want to be on the forefront of that shit because
Mhm.
you're going to make money,
Yeah.
regardless of what they're charging, usually.
Yeah,
Mm.
but
And also, Landon, a reason why the death rate in Florida may be dropping so low is because, yes, more people are getting the virus day by day, but the ratio of people getting the virus to the ratio of people dying is so drastically different. if
maybe
that
the
makes
people
sense.
that are dying have died already.
So it's
then
like,
the
for
deaths are
example,
naturally just gonna get lower.
December 19th, or better yet, let's do the 17th. There was 12,000 new cases, almost 13,000. However, there was only 16 deaths, and this is coming from Florida Health COVID-19.gov.
Wow.
And it said there's only 16 deaths, which I guess that makes sense in comparison to how many people got it, because if you look at these higher death numbers over here, earlier in the mid-November range, the cases are significantly lower on a day-by-day basis.
But here's the thing:
So it
even
doesn't
with
stand out as
even with
much.
these numbers, you still hear people who have like, yeah, I registered to get the to get tested. I never went in to get tested, but somehow I got a positive result like a few weeks later.
I think we can all agree that
What the fuck is up with that?
there's number
shady,
play.
There's shady
There's
shit
the
shit
infection
happening,
rate
like-
of everything is not accurate at
yeah,
all.
you can't trust it.
Yeah, and once like the whole year's data comes out, like flu deaths, like 10,000 flu deaths this year. It's like that doesn't even make any sense. Like 80,000 people
So,
a year die.
Put it this way.
Mhm.
Let's just say you lived in a time where there was no like live broadcasting news, right? And you can't just look up to someone and just be like, "Oh, let me get my numbers real quick."
Mhm.
You're gonna base it off of your own peripheral vision,
Your own
what's
experience
around me,
you. Yeah.
my environment. You right? No one here is getting it. I'm not gonna be concerned.
Dude, at
Simple
first,
as that.
Our
Like,
first lockdown, I was scared. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then
Yeah.
after a month and a half, I was like, "Okay, like now I'm kind of starting to understand."
Mhm.
Really weird part is every single doctor, like this whole thing, dude, is scripted. In my opinion, it's so scripted. The doctors post videos just shutting this down. Like, this isn't as bad as it is. Why are we wearing masks? This is actually ruining our immune system.
Yeah.
And then those people get shut down instantly. They're blocked. They're canceled off Facebook. They're done. It's just there's some like agenda that's going. That's how, this whole thing's an agenda.
yeah, I'm a believer that there is this one piece of shit that's in control of
Yeah.
everything.
Because
This one.
Yeah,
Let
what's
me-
said and what's not, and what goes up and what can be taken down.
yeah,
as
like
well.
let me live my life. Like I don't want to. If you're actually scared, stay home.
Yeah.
Don't make me wear a mask.
Mhm.
Don't control my life.
Yeah.
And what was I gonna say? It comes down to like if you're it's from biblical terms.
Mhm.
Quarantine. You only quarantine sick people.
Mm.
You do not quarantine healthy people.
You do not
Yeah,
destroy the
because-
economy.
Yeah,
Because that's ruining your health.
exactly.
So this is something I just wanted to Google really quick.
Sure.
Because this is something that I hear a lot of people spout out, and it's like more people die from the flu every year than from COVID, right? And that's not even close to true. Like on the global level, if you can see right here, like 250,000 to 500,000 people die every year on the global scale, not just the US. But so far, just throughout 2020, hasn't even been an entire year yet, has it? Unless you count last November, like November 2019, to be the start of it.
Let's just say about a year.
But if you want to say that, it's starting from November or to the current date, it's 1.7 million.
But once again, this is assuming that the reported, whatever's being reported is accurate.
Well, here's something else you have to take into consideration. Yes, your chance of dying by coronavirus is substantially low to a kind of, I don't want to say ridiculous degree, but to the amount of fear that we put out in the world just over this, like it seems a little excessive at times. But when you look at numbers such as this, 1.7 million people died roughly in a year, that's substantial, right?
Yeah.
That needs to be something that's something that has to be handled, right? But totally lost my train of thought. That's embarrassing. 1.7 million people died. What else is new, right?
Okay.
Down here at the stew, losing trains of thoughts. What else is new?
You want me to ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, tell me this. Tell us. Like, I heard about a case where this kid was 13 years old and his parents found him hung in his room, right? Okay. First of all, many questions. How does this guy know about suicide? Anyway, fuck that. The point is that basically on his certificate they put that he died of COVID.
And that's what I'm saying with this 1.69 million.
That's what I was trying to get at. Thank you for reminding me.
There you go. That and car accidents. Any other death that occurs every single day, every minute of every day, is being counted as COVID.
So here's the thing. That suicide one, I have no idea. Haven't heard about that. I'd have to research it. The car accident shit, that doesn't really happen. What it usually is you already had other underlying symptoms that would have related to an early death.
Yes.
You have cardiovascular problems, your respiratory system's bad, you got cancer, and then when you get COVID, it just leeches on all those. It takes advantage of all those negatives so that it could take over your body and essentially run it into the ground.
Yeah.
And then you catching COVID, like if you have stage 4 cancer, you're going to die in, you have an estimated 2 to 3 weeks or whatever, right? When you go in, or let's say you contract COVID in that time, right? On your death certificate, you would have officially died of COVID if your death was premature due to COVID. But that's the thing. If you're in a weird circumstance like that, where if you catch COVID and you're going to die in 2 weeks anyways, do you know if it's the COVID or the disease that did it? But scientists and doctors just assume that it's the COVID outright because it led to an earlier or assumed earlier death.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's they were influenced and they get a higher pay, not a pay. What is it?
They're incentivized to label it as a COVID death.
Because they got more money from the government. That's what's weird too. Like why?
Yeah.
Like
it's more money to take care of
the whole thing is just sketch because right when this happened, my dad had a tooth infection and that can get really bad.
Yeah, that can be really, really bad.
And where are you supposed to go?
Yeah.
This whole thing it's not about our health because you're ruining the well-being of people, their lives, the businesses they've built their whole life.
Just running small businesses into the ground.
People's depression.
So it leads us to one question. What could it be?
I think,
like, why is this happening?
Bro, if you want to get like conspiracy, I can go conspiracy.
He can go the conspiracy
route. Let's
route.
fucking do it. But before that, let me go turn on the fucking AC.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of warm.
No, but before we get into the conspiracy, I would like to just state an idea.
Okay.
As to why this is happening. I think it's happening due to poor government planning. And that's obvious out of the gate, right? Because this probably wouldn't have been as big of an issue if we were just, one, honest with each other. And what do I mean by honest? Now, I hate to point fingers, but I'm gonna. China, why the fuck didn't you let us know about this?
Yes.
'Cause I think it was
something we
planned.
discussed.
I'm not saying I don't think it was planned because I mean it fucked up a lot of their citizens and they claim they're not getting any new cases, but it's bullshit because they keep shutting down cities. I mean Beijing had to shut down a couple months ago for an unknown reason.
You have a
what
good
the fuck
point.
do you think that is?
You have a good
but
point.
Here's my thing. I'm not even done.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the fault of our government for not just saying, all right, there's something really dangerous out there. Just shut down all international flights. 2 weeks. Hear me out. 2 weeks. All international flights, all intercontinental flights shut down or domestic shut down.
Well,
Businesses closed for 2 weeks outright. Just fucking close everything.
Well, that's
And then you will be granted all of the bailouts that were required in the beginning. Don't worry. It'll take a small hit. But after that 2 week period, we're going to be
That's-
pretty okay for the most part.
well, that's the thing is because Trump was in office, and for some weird reason, every Hollywood star, every news channel is absolutely against Trump, and then he shut down the flights from China.
I remember that,
He's
yeah.
xenophobic, right?
Mhm.
You've seen who was it? Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, and then she
in
was
Chinatown. She's like, "Yay!"
I don't know how she's
Or,
still
I thought you were
alive,
talking
bro.
about how I think it was Nancy Pelosi said that
Was it
he
Nancy
didn't shut
Pelosi
down
or
the flights
some-
soon enough.
Yeah, no,
like
they
months
all
after.
No matter what he would do, they're gonna criticize him for it.
Yeah.
And I to be honest, these last 4 years with Trump in office were pretty fucking good. People's businesses, everybody, they say he's racist. Black people are making $4,000 more a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Everybody's making more money, and he was doing a great job. But there was some kind of like evil force. like this sounds crazy.
I
but-
agree. I agree with him though on the government side because Hanlon's razor. Don't attribute.
You mean Hawkins?
No. There's a different one.
Oh,
called
okay,
Here,
okay.
let me read it for you just
Sorry.
to make it concise. So Hanlon's razor is basically never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. So most of the times it's not like some grand conspiracy. It's just ignorance or stupidity, lack of knowledge. I don't know.
So that would make sense.
I mean, yeah, but there's even like data that shows that lockdowns really aren't
No, I don't think they're effective at
successful.
all.
Yeah, they're not effective at all. So I don't know why we have to keep trying. It's like it doesn't do anything.
Well, where we fucked up was we didn't do it right the first time.
Right, but there was no way it was going to be right the first time because now we have two polarizing political parties that no matter what someone says, whether it's right or wrong, is
Yeah.
never going to work out.
That's true. But in the beginning, I feel like there was a general consensus of fear. Everybody was so worried. And that was when there was no cases. There was almost no cases in the U.S. and people were losing their fucking minds, buying up all the toilet paper.
It was
There's no
exploding in
more-
China.
There's no
yeah.
more food in the stores and shit.
That's the power of
And
social
so-
media.
Yeah.
Just to like
That's
fucking-
when-
See, that's
Toilet
the
paper.
thing is Trump was kind of trying to like be like, hey, it's okay, we're the United States, we can get through this. But then like everyone else was like, oh my god,
Mhm.
we gotta be toilet
Yeah.
paper, we're gonna lock
Panic
it down.
mode. Yeah, everything was stupid.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, he's trying to downplay the coronavirus. He's like, no, he's trying to be smart. Like say like, hey, relax, we're gonna figure this out,
Yeah.
not freak you out and cause like
Dude, yeah, because that's exactly my thought. Is
Yeah.
that look, dude, everything is in the will of the universe. Okay, if something's gonna happen to you, it's gonna happen to you. Just shut the fuck up, live out your life,
yeah.
call it a day.
I'm gonna be real though. He should have just said wear a mask. It doesn't fringe on your
I mean,
constitutional
Yeah, honestly,
rights.
I don't really give a shit about the mask thing. I actually kind of prefer it just for anonymity purposes.
Thank you. Somebody gets it.
But when you have people who are walking into a store and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're infringing upon my rights," it's just a fucking mask.
Like in section 64 of the fucking dude, shut the hell up. Like, I don't care about your section right now. All right, company policy is different than fucking government law.
But it's just it's bullshit that we're now dealing with this fucking problem, right? We're like one of the biggest epidemics in the entire planet. In fact, we probably
The
are.
pandemic.
Or yeah,
Isn't
we're
LA,
Like we probably got some of the biggest. Oh, is Turkey?
isn't LA the
Damn, Turkey's off.
like ground zero now?
LA.
It's like the worst place for.
no, I think
cases.
Turkey might be actually. Now that I'm looking at
Saied,
it,
you're
they're like at
definitely fucked.
1.2.
What do you mean? I'm not Turkish, bro.
No, you want to
no,
go to Turkey?
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I think one of the one of the
Wait,
earliest
what?
cases inside the U.S., if I remember correctly, was actually in Newport Beach.
Let's go, baby.
Like if I remember correctly, it was a woman. It was a businesswoman flew over from Wuhan to what is the airport called? I always call
John
it
Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne. I always
Yeah.
call it JFK for some reason.
I used to
But
do
he
that
flies
too.
into she flew into John Wayne and then immediately
Yeah.
just went to like all of these different stores across Irvine and Newport
Oh my
Beach,
God,
and then
dude.
she went home. But
One
she didn't know.
Karen.
She didn't know she had it. She was in the incubation period, so she just started like
Yeah.
quietly just spreading it through Newport Beach, which is
Dude.
now like the mask-free hub of the West Coast.
Well, I'm glad she identified herself
It's-
because yeah.
yeah, but I mean, like, if we all just wore masks for the fucking first month of this shit, we would be looking like Australia or New Zealand right now, where they're still having raves and like big public gatherings, and nobody has
Yeah.
a mask on, and like you could just walk through the streets without having to worry about even catching this thing because it's just so
Bro,
non-existent.
but this is what we didn't know. The winner of the pandemic was Marshmallow himself. He always had a mask on, bro. Always had a mask.
Fucking mask.
What about Deadmau5, the OG?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if he does. He still wear a mask?
I think he
No,
does.
sometimes.
Sometimes,
I think
right,
when
yeah.
he
If it's like a big venue, I think he will. If
Yeah.
it's something smaller, he probably wouldn't.
I don't know,
that
but
dude
like,
looks like he's been through the ringer.
He does. He does.
He
dude.
has though, like his
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
You don't realize how long he's been in the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Long
For-
ass-
do you
Forever.
remember back when Neon Cat was
Yeah.
the thing?
Oh
Mhm.
my god!
Do you
I
remember
forgot
when he
about
came
that.
out with the what was it? It was the Ferrari
Yeah,
or
the-
the Ferrari,
yeah, the
Mm.
Ferrari.
and then he painted it with the Neon or got it. What was it?
Wrapped.
Wrapped, yeah, with the Neon Cat stuff. And then Ferrari sent him a letter saying, "Take it off, or we're taking the car back." And so he just sent them the car back, and then bought a Huracan and named it the Puricon.
Can they do
Did the
that?
same shit.
Can they do that?
Oh yeah,
They can take the car back.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, only
Because
Ferrari.
it feels like they it diminishes their brand value.
Yeah.
Under what right? What right do they have to take the car back? He purchased the car.
I know.
Yeah, but I
But
mean,
as
you
a
have to,
brand-
you have to sign the terms and agreements.
Oh.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I love that Ferrari still does that. Because it seems like today there's no fucking regulation on anything. Like fucking YouTubers diving into the boxing world.
Yeah.
That
oh
shit
my
pisses
God.
me off. Because they have no
Why?
business being there.
No, that's not
and then
true.
yeah.
No, Jake Paul.
I feel you, but it's not like everyone's trying to be a boxer.
yeah,
I
Like
know.
those guys actually kind of have like they want to do it.
like Logan
Yeah,
Paul
but
was also
just
like a
because you have the
serious-
connection doesn't mean that you're about it. Like
Right.
look at someone that's dedicated his entire
yeah,
life.
no, I feel you on that.
to
yeah.
boxing.
Is it Jake or Logan who's?
Both of them.
Both.
Both. But Logan Paul was like an actual wrestler in high school and did like very, very well. He's got legit wrestling capability, but
The
I don't know about his boxing.
The thing is with Jake, he's our age. He's 23.
Yeah.
So if he's actually a pretty decent boxer. He's got weight on his side. He's pretty skilled for the amount of experience he has. So if he decides to go with it, he can, because he's still young.
Yeah, but why are you calling out Conor McGregor, bro?
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Why
marketing.
Why are you
marketing
calling?
play.
I understand it's marketing, but it's like at the same time, if they're going into the boxing ring, he's still probably going to get fucked up
Mhm.
because Conor McGregor, MMA, UFC champion,
Mm-hmm.
has all the skills in the octagon, but when it comes to the square, the ring,
It's totally different game.
he also has skill. I mean, his head skill, his head movement, his body movement when he was going up against Floyd was fucking solid.
Yeah, he did
for a guy
very
that does
well.
not box.
Yeah, he did very well.
Of all fighters throughout history, he managed to hit Floyd Mayweather the most out of anybody. He snuck in the most punches, got the most hits, did the
Yeah.
most damage of any fighter
Honestly-
to go against him in history. And for a guy that never even specialized in boxing to do that is astounding.
If this Floyd Logan Paul fight goes down, Floyd's gonna destroy him.
No, it's not Floyd. It's Mayweather.
Yeah. Well, it's
No,
still,
no, no,
what do
no,
you
no.
mean?
Sorry, McGregor.
Fucking same
McGregor.
No,
it's-
no, yeah, but there's
I know.
there's Mayweather and
He's
and
on the
Logan.
table,
It's
too?
coming up.
Logan.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Logan.
that's an actual fight.
You're
that's
talking
happening.
about the best, arguably the best boxer of all time. He's been hit seriously in his career 3 times.
Like serious shots where he almost went down.
I don't know about that, but he's what is he 50-0?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
crazy.
I think he's
fucking-
50.
But
perfect.
honestly, like Logan has a chance though, because
He's
he
way
he
bigger.
gives it this way. Floyd's like 45 now. He's getting older. Logan's entering his prime. Logan's like 6'3",
Mhm.
probably like 50 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah, he's way bigger than
and
Mayweather.
Floyd is it's David versus Goliath, and David's got the skills, so
I
it'll be
guess.
interesting. Like there's a chance. Like
I'll give it.
anything
Yeah,
can
there's a
happen. In
chance.
sports, anything
Yeah,
can
I
happen.
feel like it's gonna be a test of skill
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
It's only an exhibition though, right? So it doesn't count like towards Mayweather's overall score.
I don't know about that.
I thought the Mayweather one was an exhibition, but the McGregor one was like, no, he wants it to be a legit fight because he put up 50 mil, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
When he put that check up, I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Because
Bro.
before he did that, if you remember, he totally went after McGregor's wife. He was like, bro, she's a 4. You could do way better. Like,
Bro, Jake-
what are
The
you
only person he
talking
followed
about?
on Instagram was his fucking wife.
That is
Yeah.
so disrespectful. And now, McGregor was offered retaliation with a huge financial incentive. Why would he not take that?
Well, here's the thing: if he gets knocked out, he's never going to. He's always going to hear about that.
That's true. But I wonder how. But Jake Paul and McGregor are more similar in weight class than Logan Paul and Mayweather are,
Sure.
right?
Oh yeah.
So that's actually more of a fair fight, which means that they would be hitting at the same power.
Yeah, Jake is in that one. He's trying to show off his skill for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't know if Jake is going
He
to be
wants to
able to
prove
pull that.
himself as a real boxer. That's
So
the
it is
thing.
boxing. It's not UFC. It's
No,
not
no,
MMA.
No.
Yo, if
Then
it was
he'd get
MMA, bro,
would
he
get
would
absolutely
die
He
on
would
the,
literally get
in the
killed.
octagon, bro.
Yeah.
Man,
God damn, I would love to see that.
Could you imagine a Mayweather McGregor UFC fight though? How
Oh,
much,
McGregor would destroy him.
the amount of money that would be put on the table for that?
But it wouldn't even be fair.
Yeah.
Like cuz
no.
a UFC fighter can box cuz they still got that striking skill, but like once it's
Mhm.
on the ground it's game over. They're just
Yeah.
Yeah.
too good.
Well, especially because McGregor's he's more of a brawler. Yeah, he throws some kicks into there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
he can
his-
tie you up.
His specialty is his fists, for sure. McGregor, like, he likes to hit. He likes to punch. He's a bobbing
Yeah, he likes to
and weaving
distract
kinda
with his
type.
legs. If you really notice that.
Yeah, he just
Just,
uses
like,
his
dancing
legs
around and
for.
stuff.
He uses them for distance, really, more than
Mhm.
anything, or to direct you.
Yeah.
Like, he'll kick people just to put them where he wants them to
Exactly.
be.
It's more of measurement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he loses that in the ring for boxing,
Yeah.
not the octagon, I mean, a lot of the skill still transfers over for the
Mhm.
most part. I'm not saying his kicks aren't devastating, but like I said, fists reign supreme over
Yeah.
kicks for him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I still think Jake Paul, well, yeah, he is entering, I guess you could say, his prime. He's still incredibly inexperienced
Yeah.
in comparison to McGregor.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Logan's just doing it cuz he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, seriously. That's just fun for
He's
him
got
at that
nothing to
point.
lose, everything to gain. So,
Yeah.
You know what? I really feel like talking shit right now.
On
I don't know why.
who or what.
Oh.
I don't have a specific topic, but that's what I wanted to post to Landon. Do you have anything you want to talk shit about?
What grinds your gears?
Yeah.
What
You know what?
grinds-
We've
I
asked
think that's
everyone
the
here.
que- yeah.
What grinds your gears?
dude, honestly,
Feel free to list multiple things if you'd like as well.
And don't hold back. Like,
I think that really grinds my gears just like far leftists.
Oh.
Extremists?
Not extremists, even like just like
Not
people that aren't open-minded and just think that their opinion is right and like can't.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
granted, far leftists,
Bro.
the far right as well.
Well, yeah,
It's
I mean,
on both sides.
Just
Right.
people in general.
in general,
who don't,
yeah.
you
So,
know.
are you a believer in being as balanced as possible?
I think I don't even know
This
what
fucking guy with his one philosophical idea.
If there's one thing that we're about here in the
Balance.
stew, it's about
balance.
Balance.
No, I think we need to be able to listen and not argue. If that
Yes.
makes sense. And like some people just cannot listen. It just instantly becomes an argument and then there's no
Mhm.
getting through. There's no like, here's my idea. Like this is why I believe this.
Yeah. So it's like arrogance with like a filtered ear.
Yeah.
You're just fucking blocking everything.
Yeah.
You don't give
I
a
think
shit.
the
Because
primary-
when it's my time to speak, that's the only thing that matters.
You know what? I think
Fuck all of your opinions.
the primary problem of it though is that before an opinion's even said or like put out into the world, if you're from the opposing side, just like by how we view arguments and discussions nowadays, you're already trying to think of ways to poke holes in the logic or their logic or their argument.
Yeah.
You're not listening to the reason that they're presenting, you're listening on or you're paying attention on how to poke holes in the foil, so to say.
Yeah.
You know, so out of the gate we already have problems in terms of discussing things.
Mhm.
It's like we've been saying, how long have we been saying in this country that we need a discussion for racial things? Oh, we need to have a discussion. We need to discuss, but the discussion never happens because when it does start to arise, it just immediately gets thrown out of the way because of somebody's prejudice, or they're just already out of the gate being like, I already don't like that idea, so here's why I think it's wrong, or stuff like that. They don't want to listen.
Yeah.
You know? So nothing ever gets done. There's no healthy medium that can be found because everybody, instead of moving towards the center, is divergent.
And what's
Instead
funny
of
is that
convergence, it's divergent.
it could literally be about anything, like deciding where to eat. You know, they'll be like, no, we already know where we're going. You know where you're going.
That's happened in the stew a couple times.
Yeah, it could be between like Luna Grill
no,
or
we're fairly-
Zanku Chicken.
fairly
Like
good with that.
fucking people get heated over this shit. It's just food, guys.
Yeah.
Let's eat.
Well,
Choose something.
According to you, it's not all food because different places have different qualities. of
Very
food.
true.
Yeah, but
I'm glad.
for example,
Oh yeah, baby.
like I
regret
sacrifice.
that.
Like me as a person, I sacrifice. Like depending on who I'm with, right? Like I know you guys are healthy heads, right? I'm not gonna be like, yo, dude, Carl's Jr. You know, I'm gonna be like, no, dude, you guys want like fucking cantina bowls at like El Pollo Loco or
Just go get some shit. Like go get some friggin' pho.
Are you
or
guys
something
down
like
for
that.
Whole Foods? You know, that kind
Holy
of shit.
Foods.
Dude, if
Even
you
though I'm
want
craving a Big Mac, low key.
my God.
you
Yo,
know?
I'm not a
Dude.
I'm not a pho man. I'm more of a ramen guy myself. However, we just found this pho place. If you're trying to go after, if you're hungry, it is legit.
It's gas.
If that's up your alley, I
I'm
don't know.
down.
We'll figure it out
It's
after.
kind of a hot day though.
What are you trying to eat? Is the question.
I'm trying to get some wings. Just saying.
I just had wings the other day, and they annihilated me.
Yeah, you probably
Like messed me up for a day or two afterward. Like, do you know when you just have that stomach pressure
Yeah.
that's just there all day, and you're
I
like,
had that earlier today. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck
Not good.
this.
I'm not kidding. After I ate them, I'm like, I feel like shit. I feel horrible. And then I woke up the next morning, and I just had a constant pressure to take a shit for like 8 hours. It was just backed up. Like there was, I would poop. And then there just immediately, once I was done, I'm like, oh, it's there again. And I'm like, what is going on?
It's like a tight blob of lava.
It's that back
and then
pressure.
no, and then you go to
you got to get a special tune for that.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
It was like once I was done, the pressure was there, and then you'd go sit down and try, and nothing would come out. But you're like, it feels like I'm backlogged right now, like 2 days, and I haven't shit.
It's not coming
That's
out.
where usually a laxative comes in clutch.
Once I was afraid,
You know what was
I was petrified.
you know what was weird though, Zaid?
Huh.
You know that squatty potty thing that you're always raving about?
Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah. I did a similar method to the squatty potty. It wasn't one of those things.
Just like fucking.
What?
I got a whole bunch of magazines.
Oh my god.
And I stacked them and I put my feet up on them. So you're like in the squatting position.
yeah,
How
that's
many
how-
fucking
dude,
magazines
yeah.
do you have?
Oh, you're talking about like a little stool.
The squatty potty goes up to like a foot off the ground.
Well, you're
That's
supposed to. It's like human nature to like.
Yeah,
squat.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Just don't.
I gave you shit, no pun intended, for using the squatty potty.
Once again, I've changed a life.
No. I gave Zaid a lot of shit for using the squatty potty just as a joke.
Yeah.
I think that will now be my preferred method.
Yeah. I've been
I
doing it
even
for
have a
years.
travel
It-
squatty potty. Dude. They have a travel
it
kit.
cleared me out.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I'm a tall guy, so like usually like when I'm on like a toilet, like I'm like chilling. But like when you get those tall toilets and you're like
my
this,
God.
Oh,
like, your
yeah.
legs are like
It's
straight
like at a
par-
90
not-
degree
like,
angle.
perpendicular. That's the worst,
gates are
dude.
completely closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually went out of my way and I made one out of wood, like a little stool, and I just use it for that.
This
So it has
guy's
like a
on
little
another
curve, so
level,
it sits
bro.
under the
Like,
fucking bowl.
carved it out and everything.
Yeah.
Fucking
So I like pack it into
He
the
whittled
bowl
it
and
with
fucking
the bucket.
sanding that shit down, bro.
Yeah, I had to oil it up,
Mm.
get it nice and shiny and lacquered.
Mm. Enough with the shit. Fuck. I'm like saying shit.
Mm.
But yeah,
Oh, man. That's
a good tip.
Speaking of shit, the battery life on this laptop just does not want to participate.
really?
No.
Wow, dude.
Poor thing.
Lame. Apple,
Poor
fix your
thing.
shit, man.
Dude, yeah, my phone just started losing battery like fast.
Damn.
And
Which
it's
one
a
do you have?
10. It's a
It's a
10x
yeah.
max.
Annoying.
Yeah, I just I reached the point where like my phone will mysteriously die at like 40% now.
Mm.
And
Apple.
you know what's annoying? When you go to plug it in, it'll turn back on. It'll say like 48%. Like you had even more battery than it was originally saying. It's just like a security thing. Oh, we just didn't want to make sure you ran out.
But yeah, if you guys want to get back to the whole COVID conspiracy shit, I feel like we could dig a nice little tunnel for us.
Just a little bit more. Get in there. Where would you like to
Well,
begin?
I heard Landon said he can get into the world of conspiracies.
I can get into that.
Okay.
Let's just have this be
What's-
conspiracy talk,
Yeah,
and we're talking about a bunch of shit.
yeah.
I love that.
What's
do
what's a popular one that you heard about or like, that you've dug into?
So we got to put our like tinfoil hats on right now.
Oh, I actually got him right
I
here.
already have
Do you?
mine. It's invisible.
Bro.
Matching to your head size and everything.
Movie sign.
Custom
Clutch,
tailored.
dude.
Well, there's a conspiracy that like a one world government is like.
It's like the classic one.
So,
yeah.
like-
It's the classic.
Okay. So do you want to dive into that?
I don't know if I want to dive into that one.
Is it?
No.
Okay,
no,
no,
that
no,
one
wait,
wait. Here's the thing, though. That actually, there's another conspiracy theory that I wanted to talk about with him because it's something we have to address with every guest. There's 2 questions,
Okay.
right? And we already did it with Kai, and we did it with everybody else that was in the stew so far.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one that I'll bring up, just because it's not as important,
This guy's about to bring up fucking aliens, bro.
that's the second one. I'm getting there. Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Do you have any ghost stories? Or any experiences with the paranormal?
I don't have any ghost stories myself.
Do you have any good ones though of like other stuff you've heard?
I mean, people just. I think energy is a thing for sure. I think ghosts are real. I think they're more of like a demonic,
Okay.
being kind of thing. I think that if you choose that path of life, like you kind of linger or you're kind of stuck. You're like
So
in a-
there's no good ghosts.
There's no. I mean, I don't think so. And I think if there were good ghosts, they wouldn't try to fuck with you, so you wouldn't notice them.
Yeah.
If that
That's the
makes
most.
sense.
That's
So I-
probably the
so-
most interesting
It
theory
makes the most
on
sense to
ghosts
me.
I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
that makes
That kind
kinda
of makes
makes
sense
sense.
because like the way I thought about it was there's no good ghosts. It's just more less evil.
Yeah.
I think you know
Yeah.
what. You're right because if there's ghosts around, or at least the hypothesis of ghosts,
Yeah.
right, or spirits, energy, whatever you want to call it, is that there was something traumatic that happened in their life, whether that be their entire life that was just so horrible, their energy had to stick around here as a means of suffer,
Mm-hmm.
or something traumatic happened to them in an instant. For example, you got murdered in your house in a very brutal fashion.
Maybe the good ghosts are kind of like guardian angels, kind of thing.
Interesting. They're the ones looking out for you.
Oh, I have
you
a
don't know.
crazy story about that actually.
Yep, let's hear it.
So my family friend's mother was swimming in the ocean. She's a strong Christian, and
She
I see-
benches like 250. She's
yeah,
a strong Christian.
She's really strong. Yeah, she benches
Squats
like
like
12 Bibles at a time.
Squats 315.
No, but she was swimming, and then all of a sudden, like waves started hitting, like, and she was drowning. And then she has
Jesus.
this guy. She's like, this is like her perfect memory of this. Has this guy like come like literally help her, like bring her out of the water, save her. She gets out. She's like, she turns around and like the person's just gone.
Whoa.
Yeah, like no one's around.
That's
And-
really?
And she has a
Dude.
vivid memory of seeing the guy
Yeah.
like come to get her.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's weird.
in religious talk. There's a lot of symbolism in that ocean, especially if it was at night. And then it's just there's something about in like many religions they always talk about open spaces. That's where ghosts usually live, or that's where you'll see most interactions,
Mm.
which is insane. Like when you said ocean, I was like,
It's the
There's
don't let this be true.
yeah.
Guardian Angels
That's
is
insane.
is a trippy story. And like an even more interesting theory
Yeah.
as well. Like, oh, this person or this figure rather just comes out of nowhere and is like, I got you. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I
And
got
the
you,
second you're
cuz.
safe, you look to scan the scene, they're gone.
Maybe it's not Jesus
Like a
take the
whisper
wheel.
in the night.
Maybe it's who it is.
Who dis?
That reminds me of
Yeah.
that reminds me of a story that somebody told me where they were it was actually my dad was working in the garage one night. He's loves muscle cars, or back in the day he used to love them, and he had a few throughout his time, right, in this old house we used to live in.
Mhm.
And one night he was in the garage working on it, and it's just like basic mechanical shit on the engine, just like checking stuff, making sure the oil temperature, or not temperature, but like all the whatever, all the I'm thinking pipes, but
All the knickknacks are in check.
yeah, essentially like just making sure the altimeter is correct and everything's running right. All the tubes are functional. And he stands up and he turns around to look outside of the garage, and there's a guy there. And keep in mind, this is on a street where to see your neighbors walking around is a semi-rare occurrence, right? You see people leave their house and stuff like that, get in their car and leave, but to see someone walk around didn't happen too much. So he turns around, sees this dude standing in our driveway, looking at the car. And the way my dad described this guy was like if an alien tried to replicate what a human being looked like. Because he said his face was cartoonishly off. Like the eyes were not too wide, but like not too big either, but just slightly out wide and a little weird looking. And his jaw was super pronounced and bizarre. And he had like this plaid flannel shirt on and these pants that were like, my dad said he looked like an alien out of time from the 30s. Like he had on these jeans that were held together with like a rope or some shit. Like really bizarre. Like what are you doing here?
And this was clear as day?
And this guy, yeah, clear as day, standing from me to you. I'm my dad, you're the guy. And so the guy walks closer, doesn't say anything.
Bob Lazar.
Just walks closer, doesn't say a word. And he's just looking at the car like, oh, and he's like smiling and like looking at my dad and nodding. My dad's like, yeah. And then my dad turned around to grab something off of his workbench, and then turned around. Dude was gone.
All right, we're closing up shop.
Yeah.
We're going inside. Fuck that.
Dude was gone.
Dude, fucking confirmed.
He turned around like
Right
this
there.
quickly, just like turned back, dipped.
You know what?
Out of existence.
You know what that could be?
That
could be some guy that's time traveling.
That's but the way he described him, it would have been a weird fit
See how
for a
everyone's
time
just like-
traveler. It would have been a weird fit for a time traveler. And they also
It's
said
not a
his-
far thought.
Trends-
they also
trends
said
return, man.
his face was not.
The thing
Right.
with the thing
He's
with
a
conspiracy
time traveling
theories-
lumberjack.
Yeah.
That's kind of
lumberjack.
That's kind of what he said. Oh, don't worry about it.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I didn't need your help.
The
anyway.
thing with conspiracies is like I'm tired of the normal like conventional ones that everyone throws out. I want a juicy one that I've never heard of.
Ooh.
That's
okay,
what
I
I'm
got
looking
you.
for.
Okay, let's hear it.
The Clintons,
Of course, he starts it off. with Clintons.
Bidens. I don't know about Biden, but probably. So basically, there's this conspiracy that all these people, what's the rich family? The Gates,
The
Rockefellers.
the Rockefellers.
Jesus.
What's the other one though? There's this other one. They're not good
Rupert
people.
Murdoch,
No,
George Soros.
Soros. I mean, like
what about,
they're all like Satan is. They eat babies. They freaking do sacrifices.
I've heard of. You're talking about the adrenochrome shit and all that.
not
right?
so much that, but just that they're like Satanists and fucking crazy.
I don't know, man.
Also, I kind of want to talk about the election.
Please.
Okay.
What do you guys want? What do you guys?
What about it? Like, what's?
I think
irking you?
that it is the most unfair election in history. Not unfair, the most rigged election in history.
rigged.
Okay, I gotta give you this. Without taking sides, I just gotta say something was completely off.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, but there's no way that every single Trump rally had like hundreds of thousands of people in like all these states, and then all of a sudden Joe Biden like has barely any. You've seen pictures, you've seen videos,
Mhm.
and for him to be the most voted for president of all time,
Yeah.
bullshit.
It doesn't.
But here's
surprise me,
the
though.
weird thing though. In all the it was those like 4 states especially, in Michigan. Why are they closing like the windows? Why can't you look in? You should be able to look in. And then
Mhm.
all the news, because I was watching the news. I was watching Fox. I don't even like Fox anymore. They're like, all right, we're gonna stop counting.
Mhm.
Let's all go to bed. Forget about this. We'll come back at 7 and we'll start recounting.
Which has
again.
never happened before,
Right.
right?
And then all of a sudden at 3 a.m. in the morning, here's 500,000 votes, 0 for Trump. That's like, and there's videos too of
It's a clerical error, bro.
Someone
it's
fucked up.
crazy because even like Texas, they won't use the one system. What's that system? Dominion.
Mm.
They won't use Dominion. They've always been sus of Dominion.
Are you talking about Canada? and how they outright said that they reject the use of Dominion because they felt there was major flaws with the design of the software and how it shares data.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think we got robbed of this one. I think that on January 6th, shit's about to go down.
What do you
And
mean?
I think that I don't think Biden's going to become president.
That's my birthday.
I think there's no way he's going to become president.
What?
You know, Joe Rogan made a good point in his last podcast. He was like, for all the people who don't think the erection,
For all those who don't think the erection was stiff enough.
The
the
election
election
fraud.
is rigged. Surely you would have to be an idiot to say that there is no voter fraud.
Yeah. There's always voter fraud, but this was too apparent.
So the question is, what is the number? What is the number of voter fraud cases that we have? That's the real question.
Well, that's argued depending on who you believe and what you deem to be true.
Because I think in 2016, the left didn't even have to worry about it. They're like, oh no way, Trump's gonna get in. And then when he got in, they're all like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was a
They're
shock.
like, we got to do something. That's why they've been on him for voter fraud for this whole election. They haven't like even accepted the fact that he was president. And then now all of a sudden that Biden won. Every news source wants to tell you Biden won. Now all of a sudden it's like, we just got to accept him as the president. We all can be one now. It's like, no, the freaking left is the party of division. Unions. Okay. This is a left idea. Unions are good, right? They give you,
unions have value.
they have value. But let's take, I'll do police and teaching, right? You're a teacher. You don't make that much money, but you're in the union. You have a good job. You have a stable job. But here's the thing. So if, say, we made policing and being a teacher more of a better job. Say you get paid $100K a year. So now that makes being a police officer and being a teacher a sought after job, right? So this is going to make people have to go through extra training, extra this, and actually be good at their job. So if you were to fund these people more, because we've all had terrible teachers and we've had some amazing teachers.
Yeah.
And there's amazing police officers, and then there's terrible police officers. It's the same thing, and it's like the NBA. You don't get in the NBA by being bad. You get in it by being the best. It's the same kind of deal. Like it's not. You can't defund. That's not going to do anything.
No, that's a stupid idea from
Yeah.
people who have never thought about
You got to look at it as
the
a
consequences
whole,
of it.
because with the way we see it, the problems are individuals. Yeah.
Well, a lot of the problem as well is just, I think we have to redefine what it means to be a police officer,
Yes,
especially
and
in the
how
modern
much-
era.
And how much training you need to do.
Because there's a lot of like thought where, as a police officer, your entire job mainly consists of crowd control when you're in a situation like that, and that's true to a degree. But it's how you approach the crowd control is what needs to change. Like, for example, back in the 90s, it was just kind of known that the LAPD were ruthless as fuck and kind of didn't really care about what you had to do or say in that situation. They were going to take you down however they deemed fit. That's not how you approach a scenario like that. Like, you don't need your knee on top of a dude's neck for 8 fucking minutes to restrain him.
Nothing can justify that.
He probably would have been choked out after 2.
Right.
That's
But I
why
mean,
I'm like how he didn't black out sooner.
Don't quote me on this, but I don't even know if there was like a bruise on his neck in the autopsy.
Pretty sure there was.
You don't. Okay, well then don't
yeah.
quote me on that.
That's-
Yeah, I
anyways,
wanna-
like-
I want to
the
step
thing
away from
is
the.
too, but the thing is too, like when it comes to that, like yes, it's wrong, but was it racially charged?
Well, here's
You know what I
another.
mean? Like,
that's where it's confusing. That's
what
where
I'm
you
saying.
don't know.
It's like the same case. I forget the guy's name but like it's the one where he gets shot like a million times in the car, right? Or like going to his car. This girl calls the police because she's scared for her life. This black woman, and the dude comes into her house, raids her house, trying to steal her car, and has a knife. And there's also a knife in the car. The police officers many times, stop, put that down, stop. And then goes to reach for something in the car. What's going to happen? If you've already had a track record of doing all these bad things, right? The police officers know who you are, and you're not like complying. Like, it sounds fucked up, but like it's as simple as that. Just being like, okay, like let me diffuse the situation. But it has to be like a two-sided.
Yeah, it's going to be like, listen, if you reach for that, we're gonna have to resort to this.
Isn't there a law too that like if one police officer shoots, they all have to shoot?
I don't think so.
I thought that was a
Why?
thing.
Why would that even be a
Could
law?
so it's
that
not.
just sounds dangerous.
No,
as fuck.
because I think it's something like if someone like in a situation where you have to shoot, they all shoot, so you don't really know who.
I don't think that's
I
more of a
don't know
law.
if that's
I
a
think
thing or not.
I cannot imagine.
it's
that
probably
being a law.
instinct. It's probably like, okay, he pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
Immediately, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Pull
I think
the
that's
trigger.
what it probably is.
But anyways, what I'm saying is most of these instances of police brutality, in my opinion, aren't that racially charged. I think it's more of just stupidity on both ends.
both ends. That's the important.
But then the
distinction.
problem too is that there is kind of that bias towards like black people because they.
Now here's the thing. I think you can have the bias, but you shouldn't be labeled as racist. Because
Right.
even normal
No, I get what you're
normal
saying.
ass people have a bias.
Because if you're
of culture,
a cop,
social media,
yeah.
everything around us, like
So you're telling me you should be allowed to have a preconceived notion
No,
on
no,
somebody
no.
based on the color of their skin, but it's not racist.
I'm
no.
saying
What he's
it's
saying was
extremely difficult to change that.
No, I think what he's saying is that you can. I mean, especially in these situations, because a lot of these guys are thugs. Like they're bad people. They've done bad things, and they know. Like the police officers know that. So you kind of have that bias going in. Like this is not a good guy.
Yeah.
And
And
he,
that's the
he
thing,
unfortunately is
Bro,
black.
you can have a good heart, but it's the actions that prove who the fuck you are.
Dude, it's like last year, police deaths like by shooting. I think white people were more than black people. Like it's
Yeah,
not,
they're-
it's
they're-
not
You
just
live in
like
a country
race.
where they're so fucking outnumbered. The fact that the black death by cops is even remotely
Right,
close
but
to the
that's-
white death
yeah, but
is
that's
staggering.
that's
Or like
the
the two
cultural.
cops that were
Dude, black people make
were
up like
eating
what
lunch.
is it, like
Remember that shit?
13% of the population's total? The fact that their numbers even fucking close to
that's
the
because-
overwhelming majority
Yeah, that's-
white is astounding.
I know, but that's because of like cultural.
Yeah, it goes back
differences.
into history, and these people are not being cared for. Live in ghettos and all that shit.
The real thing about this is it stems back to the family of having a mom and dad. That's all it is. Like that's
A big part.
That is
to,
huge.
to me, what I think it is just like a lack of taking care of the neighborhood for starters. I mean, you start like from the get-go, right? Like let's just say hypothetically, name any bad neighborhood, right? Or any predominantly African-American neighborhood that has a lot of drug-related crime or just crime in general. Just name any whatever neighborhood you want. I mean, you start in a place where already the expectation of life is so diminished from the get-go. I mean, for a lot of these places, like for example, a lot of like, I would say more predominantly white neighborhoods, it's like you get fed the belief of you could be anything, you could do whatever you want. But for black neighborhoods, it's like, no, you will not be as good as them. You have to do the or like the old adage. It's like you have to be twice as good as them to be just as good as them.
And I think it's more of a class problem than a race problem.
My point is, it's like they start from that basis, right, in these neighborhoods, and it's like we've never had means to go in and clean them up really in a way that made sense, or ways to actually help black people be financially stable or start businesses.
We've just
incentives.
allowed.
So that's why it's like when people talk about the reparations thing, I think giving black people money outright probably wouldn't be the best approach to it. Maybe something where it's like they get minor business incentives.
Yeah, I think
for
I
like
think- I
for
think
like
I
a
heard you
year
guys
to
talking
3
about
year.
that or something.
Yeah,
I think that would be smart.
for like a year to 3 period. For instance, it's like you want to start a new business. All right,
Yeah,
we'll cut like 5 or 12, whatever percentage the government deems fit. And
yeah, because here's the
black
thing: if you
communities
just give
agree
them
with.
money, what are they going to spend it on? They're going to spend it on car parts or
They
something.
have
You know what I mean? Like,
habits of
yeah.
spending it on certain things, and
Yeah,
they'll
like-
continue to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
So it's
is
like
that we
invest
can't
in the community.
You can't purely blame it on like, oh, it's purely racist, right? There could be like a percentage of racism, but it has to be backed up with something else too.
I think it's a mixture of.
I think people are
It
just
could-
using that
it's-
card way too much now.
There's racism involved in it, but I think it's primarily
Yeah.
just a lack of caring. Because these people, they're so far gone. Like the government's like, the community's so fucked. Like, why even invest in it when we could put money into something that's new and shiny? But it's like, so many of your citizens live here.
Yeah.
And they have to experience these like horrific things.
Even take out African American, like the African American community in the ghettos. Take that out of the equation. As a society, you want to lift up the areas that are not doing well. It just makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
It's common sense.
It's like, what's other than race relations and just what is that, inter-civilian conflict amongst one another?
Yeah.
One of our biggest problems in the country is probably infrastructure. Something that a lot of people don't think about. Our roads, our water systems, how we move electricity from point A to point B, how we generate electricity. They're all so fucking outdated. The majority of them. I mean, we're now like windmills are great and shit, but the technology we're using is almost 10 to 15 years out of date in a lot of places. The solar energy isn't as good as it could be, you know?
Yeah.
People talk about electric cars like Gavin Newsom, for instance. Let's rope this motherfucker into it. I think he was trying to sign a bill by 2025 or 2030 that there'd be no gasoline powered
That's a whole
vehicles sold
argument
in
in itself
California.
right there.
And you know what? That sounds great in theory.
It
But if
does
you're
sound
doing
great
it
in
for an
theory, but
environmental reason,
it doesn't
you're
even
already
make
on the,
sense,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're already off on a bad basis because
technically battery-powered cars are worse for the environment as of right now than a gasoline. And plus, gasoline-powered vehicles are becoming so fuel efficient, basically emitting no emissions. Like, it's a whole argument in
for the
itself.
electric car thing. You're right. Just the production of making the batteries for the electric cars already puts a huge carbon negative or carbon deficit on that industry. For example, Elon Musk. Why do you think he's trying to reinvent the battery so goddamn quickly? Because he realizes that mining all these lithium, cobalt from all these regions of primarily Africa now, if I remember correctly, or partially parts of China, but I don't think he deals that much over there with batteries anymore, is because it's expensive as fuck, it weighs the car down, and the amount of electricity that they can hold is good, but not great. We could do better. So that's why he's looking for a new battery, for instance. So it also makes the cars more eco-friendly, right? But getting all the electric cars here, that's a problem. You have to build the batteries. That hurts the environment. On top of that, where are you going to charge these fuckers?
Yeah.
Where? What electrical car grid do we have just in California, which, by the way, has the most electrical charging stations of anywhere in the entire continental U.S., aside from maybe Texas, and that's a maybe, right? We still don't have enough places to plug in the car.
We
to
don't have
charge
the
your shit.
infrastructure. It's that
We
simple.
don't have the infrastructure for
fucking simple.
homes to be charging or using that much electricity to charge cars. The grids are going to be overwhelmed very quickly because we're using essentially grids that are from like the 70s and 80s to this day. Why do you think we have so many fucking fires nowadays with all these transformers exploding in the middle of the woods?
Yeah.
Is that just a coincidence? No, it's because they're 80 years old and they're handling way more electricity than they're supposed to. So of course they're going to pop. It just makes sense.
Yeah, these are things that we've definitely touched on in the past.
So it's like now you got a problem with charging grid. You got a problem with moving the electricity. How do you expect that to make sense without an entire overhaul of how we even view the automotive world inside of our state or country if we make that shift? And energy production. And then the water one pisses me off the most because it's like we live in the fucking United States and we still have Flint, Michigan, who you could light their taps on fire the second you turn it on hot, you know?
We've covered a lot of the really charged topics.
I think we
it's
should
electric cars?
I think we should
I'd like, no. I'd like to segue because I appreciate
or go
creators.
back to the point I was making that Biden won't be president.
I want to talk about you personally, though. I'm inspired by people who want to create, and in terms of your music, right? How long have you been doing music for?
Probably like a while now. Actually, I've been making shit on my phone forever. Probably like 6 years.
Now, what is it? What inspires you to do that? Is it just something that naturally fits into your personality, or?
Well, I don't know. I've always liked creating. Well, first my passion was sports.
Yeah.
That didn't work out. I hurt my elbow. Then I guess from there it was kind of music. I've always I played guitar when I was younger. And then there was always like a point like in my life where like I would like be like scootering or something, and then I'd like put my headphones in and listen to some like EDM. And I'd be like, oh, this is like hard. This is sick.
This is hard as fuck.
Or like a rap song, like, oh, this is sick. And then like my whole goal in like that time was like to be able to make something like that of like that caliber.
Yeah.
And then like once I was actually able to like make something that were like I was like, oh, like okay, like it's working.
Did a lot of your family deal with music, like playing guitar, piano, anything?
My uncle plays guitar. He's crazy.
Okay.
So I have like a few family members. He does. He rips. He shreds.
Because to be able, like, for example, I remember when you had your first like live event, right?
Yeah.
You were DJing for that. That's fucking cool.
It was a
That's
blast,
not a step a lot of people make.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of balls, but
No,
I feel like you're a man that knows how to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know.
I was like, I really don't have much experience on decks, especially like this deck. But I was like, I'm just gonna make it happen. Like I'm just gonna do it. And then like it worked. And then there's this one knob that like the cutoff knob was like broken.
Oh no.
So like my first drop, like when I finally like mixed in a song, it was like just real muffled, like boom, boom. I was like, that was not hard. I was like, bro, like I was like, why is it doing that? He's like, oh, you got it. And I was like, no, I don't. I'm like, it's like that.
Wait.
He's like, and then he pushes it a little bit, and then it was like came back, and I was like, oh, like so like then I had to like put that in the account, but
so your filter sweep was off. So like you had a low pass going, and it was like all the way down.
No, like it was like the one that's literally like low pass and then high pass.
Yeah, that's
so like it would be straight, but it was broken. So like it would be like the high or the low pass was like or something like that.
Dude, that actually happened to me in a show once.
Yeah,
like the only show I've ever like really DJ'd.
It was common occurrence.
When I was moving all my stuff into there, apparently one of the knobs got pulled off for the filter sweep for channel 2, I think it was. Or wait, no, it's the whole thing gets affected, right? Yeah, my bad. And it was like stuck, and so I just found the cap on the ground. I was like, oh shit, so I just put it on, and it was all the way in the low pass position. So essentially what low pass and high pass means is, for those that don't know, when you have a high pass filter turned on and it's like pushed all the way to the top, or at least for mixing and stuff, there's no low end whatsoever. So it's just all high frequency, like real.
It sounds like a telephone, kind of muffled. Just think of muffled.
It's actually, there's more high-end clarity than like that traditional telephone sound you're looking for, because the telephone sound is like a high pass and a low pass,
it's mid-range,
which meets it around the 3 to 4K mark.
Yeah.
But that's technical. My point is, I had it in the opposite direction, where it was stuck on low pass, which and so, you know, you're building up, and then you switch to the different track or whatever, where the cutoff is actually applied. And right when it's supposed to be the most tight, it's just, oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, oh god, what's wrong with the knob?
Yeah.
Let me turn that shit.
Luckily for me, though, it's like,
yeah,
I had it queued into the headphones so I could like also hear it simultaneously. And I heard that, and so I knew the song well enough, and it had one of those kind of like, I almost call it a reverse drop, where it builds up and then there's like a little bit of time
like
in between.
Like break or
bing,
something.
ding, 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 boom, and then the drop comes in or whatever. So I heard it for that, and luckily I was like able to grab the knob quickly enough, and then just like slowly adjust it up, because it also was like pulsing super heavy with a like a side chain compressor and shit like that. So it's just like slowly turning it up, and it looks like I'm turning my knob to the high pass completely. So my mind's just totally fucked, right? I'm so confused. So I'm just cranking this up, and then right as the right as the drop comes, it goes right back to center, and then the bass hits, and then the whole house was like,
Is there a specific genre that you focus on?
House. And I make beats too. Like,
my man.
if you have a favorite,
House is lit. Dude.
What's your favorite?
If anyone has known me in the past fucking 12 years, I've been on a journey to find out that EDM is my heart and soul and my fucking headspace. And everything.
So EDM is the same
anything
as
that I
house?
think of visually comes from.
I mean, EDM's a broad genre of it's electric dance music.
Okay.
So I mean, it's anything electrically produced, I guess you could say.
What's your favorite BPM to produce? Like, think about it.
That's a hard
one.
Very
good question.
It's all. I mean, when it comes to so when I make a trap, like a hip hop beat, I like to do fast, like 150, 160.
Okay.
Because that's just like the kind of like shit I fuck with.
Travis Scott like usually hovers around 135 to like $150, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but then house music, I find it's easier to make bass groove at like 123, and then
123, baby,
and then like 126 is fun as well.
So interesting, because I've never heard of any of this shit.
Bro, for some reason
at 125 I can't make a bass line for shit. I don't know why. Like it's just like.
It's weird that 1 BPM separates you
That's
from
what
being
I mean.
like,
Subtle.
I can make it and I
It's
can't.
subtleties,
Weird. Like
dude.
it's just the way it is.
I get it.
Yeah.
There's what the fuck are they? They're like French or some shit. I've been listening to them.
You mean
But
you?
No. Oh, they're
Come on,
the
French
dude's
Adidas
name is
model?
like Clan Carousel or Clan Carousel, some shit like that. It's a weird ass name. But dude, this guy, he mixes his shit at around probably 86 BPM. So it's heavy hitting, but at the same time, it's just so mellow because it
slow.
almost lines up with your heart rate.
That's
you
like
know?
lo-fi tempo almost.
It's slow, but I don't know how he
It's
does
slow
it.
but fast.
It's just like it's one of those things where you go, I wonder what the hell he was on when he made this.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I can make this from scratch. I wouldn't know where to fit certain bass lines or like, where to come up with certain sounds. It's just weird, dude.
Yeah.
But it fits so well. It's a nice headspace, like not really resting heart rate, but kind of like it's mellow.
And let me ask you a question, Landon.
Interesting.
All right,
When
yeah.
you make house music in particular, because there's a lot of syncopation that's going on within house music, because that's what gives it that like groove,
Yeah.
like, or whatever it is, for instance, it just gets you, it's more fun. There's more rhythmic variety into it, and there's more grooves you can lock onto. So it's like, gives people different options to dance to. If you want to dance to the bass line, cool. You want to go for that snare and like whatever, the clap combo, back to back, whatever, go for that. However, when you're making those tracks, as time goes on, do you find it easier to just think like, oh, that would be a great sound to put here? Or do you still go down the experimental route where it's just like, I'm going to put this here and see what happens? Or like,
Dude, every track is like a happy accident, I feel like, to be honest with
That's
you.
a good way to put it.
Yeah, because it's
Wow.
like it's just trial and error, and then like when you're like you have something, you're like, now the bass sounds off, now this sounds off. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like some crazy producer, but it's always like I'm not even like that knowledgeable about music theory, but like I get like the basics. But I mean, everything's like a happy accident for me.
Yeah, but
You're
you got your ears.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
exactly.
What
I have,
gets it?
I have a good ear for music, definitely. But I think it a lot of times for me to make a track, it takes something for me to be inspired by. If it's another song or this one sample, I'm like, oh, that hits. It's different.
Think about it this way.
Like that.
I bought a Zoom H4n Pro recorder, right? And I started doing this thing where I kind of just try to focus on the things I do rather than just do them.
Yeah.
So then, for example, if you notice around you 24/7, there's always sounds. There's this sound that I've been fucking obsessed with. All right, and it's this little toy that I have, but it's like it has a metal ball and it hits plastic and it makes this weird sound every time, and it's just kind of like a. And I was just like, bro, put some reverb on that bitch. Turn up the decay, and all of a sudden, and then just like, and then take down the dryness, and it just goes. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, damn, all right,
Yeah.
gotcha. Now we need fucking bass lines. Now you need some fucking environment shit. Let's get some strings up in here.
Some atmosphere.
And I'm just like picturing all this in my head. I don't know how to use the fucking software.
It's crazy.
You know what I
It's
mean?
crazy because it relates
So-
to cooking as well. Like in order to get a good meal, you have a little
You
bit
have
of
to
this
keep-
ingredient.
keep
That
tasting
okay,
it.
we got to bring
yeah,
this
you
down.
gotta make sure it's just right.
That's straight up what it is.
That's
And you have to have a
crazy.
lot of patience,
That's why
man,
they call it
because
cooking it up.
Cooking
seeing
it
the
up.
track list is so overwhelming if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh yeah. Like I used to like even my trap beats nowadays are sometimes like max like 10. Like there's not much you can put in there.
Mhm.
But then like if I'm like working on something like an actual like house song or something, like I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. Then I look at my project and it's like 50, 60 layers deep and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
how did I even get here?
Yeah, it's insane.
I just got the opportunity to work on, I mean, it was for a school project, but we fucking took it as far as we could, right? And one of the most fun parts about it was we covered Frank Ocean's Pink Plus White. And the person that did the vocals for it, his name's Axel, and we'll give you a little shout out, your Instagram in the link below. He makes good music, he's got a great voice, and he sent me over 20 tracks of him. Just like 2 of them were main vocal lines because the way Frank Ocean does it is it sounds like he doubled up for sure.
Yeah.
Center channel or slightly
Vocals
panned
are a
out.
whole different game.
Yeah.
Like it's like just a vocal.
It was
God
so
damn.
much fun though, because it's like you scroll through.
Expand.
If I remember, there was like 30 total tracks, including all of the instrumentation, any additional sounds, and then like his vocals.
Yeah.
But his vocals made up like 2/3 of the entire project. It was so much fun to go in and like just tweak every little thing.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
when you need to
parameters.
just bounce the track and then fuck with the vocals.
Yeah.
Deeper in the
So do you like your daily routine? Do you like he mentioned with normal sounds that you come across? Do you ever hear something specifically that just like, oh, I can make something with this? Or is it more of like-
I'll give you a preview of the song that's dropping actually.
Oh, we get a
Ooh.
little.
Mm.
So
the
I'll show
first
you
take,
like
the
I'll
exclusive
show you like
look.
I bought like this sample pack or something, and then there's this one, it's like little loop, but I chopped it up.
There was a remix of Savage Mode,
Alright,
the
so
album, like
like-
the chopped version. It was so weird.
like this right here, this like doo, 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 doo. Like this just kind of like when like that like
Is that the sound you're thinking of?
Kind of.
uh,
But I played it differently because I just kind of made it like a boom.
yeah. So that like I heard that and I was
Yeah.
like whoa, and then I like matched the bass line. I was like that just works. Like and then I was like okay, let me just
Yeah.
add everything else in it. When something inspires you like that, it can like you'll just start going and
And it's all based off of mood. What like really realistically, every day is a different day. You know,
Yeah.
every day you're feeling something else. So I totally get that. I feel like everyone's in tune. It's just some people know how to execute that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an interesting
What?
question. Like when it comes to, do you make music?
Oh yeah, Break It out
Okay.
December 23rd.
Oh ho.
We'll give you an opportunity to give all those deets. But like, do you produce in the morning, afternoon, or nighttime? What's like your vibe?
Whenever I feel like it, because
Okay.
now I'm working 5 days a week. I get home and then like I'll come on for like 30-40 minutes, but like quarantine or something, for instance, I'd just be home all day. And actually I did produce a lot, but
Mhm.
at points you need to take a break,
Yeah.
especially if you're not getting anywhere, like you need to take a break. So I'll go for like 30, 40, 45 minutes, and if I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere, I'll kind of just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Which is usually the best route to take.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
No, I completely get it. I mean, I'm like on the other side. I'm visuals. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like there comes times, especially with quarantining right now,
yeah.
where it just feels like all this massive pressure has created a brick wall and you're not getting anywhere. You know?
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
like, yeah, I need to be posting 7 days a week, but
Yeah.
I had nothing to post because I don't even know what the hell I'm doing right now.
Usually got to err on the side of quality over quantity as well.
It's-
Yeah. Yeah,
Which I
because I
totally
was
get
gonna
it.
do like a 3-album EP. Because right when quarantine hit, I made a little EP called "The Great Indoors."
Mhm.
It's like chill house, and I was gonna do like 3, but then I just couldn't kind of get that third one moving,
hmm
and so I was like, whatever, just 2. So,
What do you think about doing a set, like a recorded set,
like playing live?
for like an hour?
I wouldn't even like DJing or like actually like boom boom.
No,
like
like
here's
make
the-
a themed set, kind of ish.
Like the above
Like
and
for
beyond
ex-
shit on YouTube.
Kind of. You know how all the quarantine stuff's kind of popping off right now, where
Mhm.
people are doing at home stuff or like at a cabin or some shit,
Mm.
something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I would do that for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's something that I've been telling Logan to do too,
Yeah,
just so I can
you
like,
can go back to
bro,
back.
because I want to film that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I still want to do that thing in Canada if
What
you're
thing?
down. There's like a musician center that you can go to where it's like a whole bunch of individual houses next to a lake, and they have like a grand piano and that's a bed basically, and that's it.
That's lit.
And you just go in there and you work on music, whatever you got to do.
Oh, you.
So I'm like, low key, if you're down, like
So
Yeah,
Kevin
we could-
Parker
if you're
does
down.
with his music all the time.
We could.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
just takes a
we give a
hiatus and just
passport.
leaves and just produces in some.
that would be sick because on my side, I got the gear to make it look fucking legit. You know what I mean?
dude, the videos we could get in there too. You could
The
do.
content.
You guys
could
could
do-
be cooking.
We could literally do an entire set on top of a frozen lake.
That'd
Well,
be crazy.
you know what? We'll
It might
discuss
get
this.
Too,
We
might get
shall
too
discuss
heated,
this.
We might fall
Yeah,
in.
for
The
sure.
base might
It's too
rip
hot.
the ice apart.
Too hot.
Yeah.
The ice cap.
Heaters only, dude.
Turns out it wasn't CO2. It was Landon's base that was melting.
It was all the heaters, dude. All the heaters. Heaters
Anything else
only.
you gentlemen want to touch on?
Dude, I can keep going.
I know you're
forever.
passionate about
No,
Biden.
no.
but-
Yeah.
There is something I want to touch on. It's the other thing that we need to ask new guests.
Yeah. What's the other? The other
Aliens?
guest question.
Aliens, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Aliens,
Do
bitch.
you have any stories? Is the first place I would like to start with that. And then you mentioned something earlier that I want to tie in as a new conspiracy theory,
Okay.
which I don't know if it's being discussed. It probably is, but
Somewhere.
I can't imagine I'm the first to think of it.
Go Reddit.
Any alien stories?
Now I'm vibing.
Story.
No alien stories.
None?
Those are rare, dude.
Yeah.
To find somebody who has alien stories.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think those
and
are
at that
rare.
point, like, it's like, do you even believe them if they do have some weird alien story? It's like,
I only believe
aliens?
Bob
Well,
Lazar.
let's go there.
So I'm open-minded to them.
Okay.
Bob
There's,
Lazarian.
I mean, if you're like a believer, I'd say like there's two theories. One is that God made only us, and that's just one of them. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And then I mean, there is other. I mean, who knows? You know, my mom believes that they're like the ghosts, like demonic things. But I mean, who knows? I think now we're at such a point in the world that it's kind of silly not to believe in them.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
So they do exist.
I think they probably do.
Yeah.
I think they
But not in the way
exist,
that we
bro.
think.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing.
I got you.
With aliens, if you don't believe that there's something else living out there, and that could be as little as like microbes in water on
Yeah.
another planet, right?
You crazy?
Yeah. Have you seen how big the universe is?
Yeah. There's no
Fucking
way.
enormous. And
you're
we take up
telling me we're the only species?
Tiny, the tiniest fraction of it.
Yeah.
The smallest part. Which some could say, if you believe the universe is incredibly infinite, right? Because we have a 3D map of our universe now, which is a crazy sentence to say. But it's only what's considered to be our observable universe.
Mhm.
It's as far as our telescopes or our scientific data instruments, whatever they use to get that information, can reach.
It's the one laid out like okay.
It's that one, or they've actually turned it into a 3D map now where it shows like it's an entire connected web of
Damn.
like different star systems and stuff, and there's like dead zones in between all of them, and it's really weird to see how
wild.
they mapped it. But if you believe there's nothing else out there,
Yikes.
it just seems a little
Yeah.
presumptuous.
Maybe you should get COVID. And just call it a day.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
But here's what I wanted to say though,
If you
because
don't believe
we've been getting a lot of crazy headlines recently.
about yeah,
Aliens in the news. Some crazy shit. Have you been keeping up by chance? Like the Israeli security expert or chief security advisor
High
or
level
whatever
ranking
Yeah.
officer
claimed that aliens are real and Donald Trump knows about them. We had the video dropped by the Navy a couple years back, which got later verified by the CIA. They said, or the Pentagon rather, which I believe is the CIA, said we don't know about it. Like we don't know shit about that.
Yeah.
But it's an unidentified flying object, and we
Yeah.
don't know whose it is.
Yeah, and it's moving at speeds that are just clearly doesn't make sense.
yeah.
Because it's zooming. It's just fucking
We got that.
what's going on?
That video. Then we got this
Yeah.
Israeli guy. Then we got the Phenomenon documentary,
Yeah.
which gets a lot of our members of Congress and even high-ranking military officials
Which I
from within
still
our
need
own
to watch.
government and across the world are
What do-
claiming, yeah, we don't know what the fuck that was. So,
No, I think who knows?
That's
Wow.
usually my answer.
there
Who
was
knows?
also another
Who
theory.
does know?
There was another thing that was tossed out there, and I wish I could remember. I'm going to Google it actually to see who said
Was it a salad?
No.
Oh, Father Google.
'Cause we're tossing
Give
it
us
up.
answers. Give us answers, Father Google.
Father
Somebody said
Google, I will.
Fuck you, Google.
that aliens are
This
ready
guy's
to
typing.
meet humans when humans
That was the Israeli guy.
are ready to meet.
Oh, I heard about this too. I think.
Intergalactic.
Was that the Israeli? Oh, it was
Yeah,
the Israeli guy.
It was.
So
Israeli space security.
now we don't know if that's legit or not. I mean, he probably said it for sure, but we don't know if it's 100% true, if Trump knows about it or the Israeli space security chief says anything about it. We don't know if that's true. But he does believe a galactic federation, which, by the way, Rick and Morty, if you guys fucking nailed that, called it the Galactic Federation as a joke, and it actually turned out to be a real thing, that's some clairvoyance right
That
there. But they said a galactic federation has been waiting for humans to, quote, reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. So,
Yeah, that silence was just. I think we all got mind fucked for a second.
so
Wait, okay, hold on. This is exactly what Bob Lazar was doing as work.
yeah,
He has been inside these things. That's what he claims.
he's
But
looked around, he's touched them.
He's touched
worked-
them. He's found out their energy levels, their fucking gravitational pull, whatever, all that stuff, and he's trying to replicate it. Now, the way he described it was it looked like him and other scientists were getting whipped to fucking figure out what kind of technology this shit's using.
Mm.
Yes. And the
Is
problem,
Bob Lazar like the Area 51 guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy that worked at the Los Alamitos lab.
I think so.
Yeah,
But Bob
he's
Lazar,
interesting, dude.
I mean, he was in an interesting predicament because we're trying to use technology that essentially, like if you were to look at it, the alien technology would be us, and then the technology we're using now, or he was using at that time, is like Stone Age equivalent. Because, I mean, they're working with materials that aren't even on the periodic table, according to him.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of new elements and shit that we haven't touched. There's processes and ways that they move energy, which we have never even thought to conceive of or still understand. Sorry. But it's just a whole bunch of crazy stuff is going on out there, and we have no means to understand it, right?
Yeah.
So, I wanted to move away from that. I wanted to get, if this wasn't conspiracy theory enough for you,
Conspiracy better blow my
let's
mind.
go deep. Let's go deep, right? So, aliens won't be ready to meet us until we understand what space and spaceships are, and until we as a species are ready to come to a conclusion that we're willing to accept them.
Mhm.
Right? Now that
Mhm.
whole not galactic, but that whole one world order thing that Landon's talking about,
Yeah.
in my mind, kind of makes sense when aliens enter the picture. I'm not saying it's the best option for us. I'm just saying we at that point go from being the only things that we know exist to being a specific race of entities that live within the universe.
Uh-huh.
So we're no longer white, black, brown, yellow, whatever.
We are Yellow.
Human.
Yeah.
We are the human race, because now the whatever race of other
Some
aliens
good Homo
outside the Earth,
sapiens, bro.
they exist.
Fucking
And
dude.
I'm sure that they put their fucking
We
prejudices
better call
aside for
Earth
the most
Sparta at that point, bro.
This guy's very aggressive
This
lately.
isn't Earth.
You are very aggressive.
This.
part. The look you just gave me, you're like, yeah, that was some real shit right there, bro. you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying, bro. Come on.
You know how it goes down.
Come on, dude.
Listen,
No,
bro.
but I think that at that point we're gonna essentially be forced to be like, yeah, there's no point of countries.
Some alien show like, what's up, MTV? This is Earth.
Yo, it's dude.
check out my crib.
This is my crib I call
it's-
Earth.
It's
son.
MTV.
No, we got
Planet.
soil.
We over here, we have the Saffron 3000. We about to fly out.
Hey, yo, welcome to Mars. It's a little dusty. It needs some housekeeping.
Hey, if you look up, you can see the atmosphere. Like, bro, we whipping out in them trains.
But what if
Here we got trains, planes, and automobiles.
God damn. Oh,
bro?
God.
But I think here's the conspiracy theory part of it, right?
Yeah.
So, Landon,
Yeah.
you mentioned the one world order thing.
Yeah, I feel like that though wouldn't even be for aliens. I feel like that's more of just controlling. But I guess
But
I
they would
could
have
see.
to be in touch with aliens. They would have to be if they exist, if they
Right.
visit us.
Right. I think the one world order is more of just greedy people being greedy and wanting to control their population.
But what if hypothetically
Hypothetically speaking,
that the one world order was actually a secret means, if it does exist, to essentially prime the planet for the introduction of aliens in?
But why would
into our
you? Why
world?
would you need to have a one world government to do so?
Because at that point, why even separate resources from one another? Like, you would want to pool everything together so that you, as a species, are the apex of what you can be. Not of what one singular country can do. What can your planet produce, not what can you make as a country. So
I feel like humans would end themselves before we got to a point like that.
that's possible.
Yeah, it's just a very high chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, humans are ending themselves right now, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else is new? But
Damn. Okay.
wait, were you talking about I just meant like, I
Yeah,
thought you
yeah.
meant like killing the planet. That's what I thought you meant.
No,
like
no,
the
I'm
CO2
talking about
shit.
killing themselves. The rates
no.
are growing higher and higher.
I meant
dude.
like climate change and shit
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
But Jesus,
We're on two different
man, that would have been
waves.
so dark. That's so dark. Fuck. No, but I mean, in a sense of it's like there's no point of being a standalone country anymore if there's a whole galaxy out there that's governed.
Sure.
It's no longer countries, it's planets and different organizations, intergalactic that
Yeah.
you have to deal
We
with.
have a galactic federation now.
I mean, it's
We
just,
don't, actually.
like not in our lifetimes or
Oh, well,
many
maybe.
lifetimes after that will the whole world unite, because there's too much like Chinese people be like I mean everybody Mexicans like they're pretty racist, bro, and they'd be like, no, I'm not working with these people. You know what I mean? It's just
Well,
like it's
just
like
because we know they exist doesn't mean that they have to
I get what
integrate
he's
on the
saying. I get what
planet.
he's saying.
there's
There's,
we are too different. See, the thing is is people are different. I think people are everyone's so here's I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like in the United States at one point we were unified because we all kind of shared the same mindset, same values, which is sadly going away. And what pisses me off the most is when immigrants come in and then try to change the United States. Like, why do you even come here in the first place?
Dude, it's the beauty of the United States.
Exactly. So it's
There's-
like
there's nowhere
don't
else
come
like
in
that.
with your old values. Come in with the
And
actual
the-
American
The
values.
intent
Well,
to be open-minded and change.
Yeah.
That's the
and
thing.
to live
Be
the
op-
American dream. But anyways, I don't think we can ever reach a point to where the whole world will.
I
think
feel like if
likely.
it were to happen, it would have been in the past.
Yeah.
You know what? That's an interesting thought. And I would have agreed with you 5 years ago. However, today there's nothing more threatening than just having one ship from the middle of fucking nowhere, out in the middle of the galaxy, come to us from light years away, show up, and with that one tiny ship that doesn't even cover a football field, they could end the existence on this planet
I think
easily.
if there's any potential for us uniting, it's that.
And so here's the thing. Here's the question, rather. When you unite as a species, are you going in with negative implications or are you going in with positive? Because essentially, if you go in with negative, and we talked about this with our last guest, Kai, if you go in with negative implications, secretive or out front, letting the aliens know you don't like them and you deem them to be a threat or whatever, they're going to fuck you up. And they don't even have to think about it.
Well,
They don't even have to think twice about it. They could just end life on the planet and be like, all right, there's an infinite amount of other species out there. What's so special about these ones?
yeah.
So
well,
it's like,
I feel like they have the tech and they have the power to just never show themselves ever. They can escape in a matter of less than a second.
yeah.
Just dip. That's
Mhm.
it. We're done. So it's like, I don't think we'll ever come across them because they don't want to come across. They have to willingly be able to stay put for us to reach them because there's no other way. They could just keep going fucking outwards.
No, the only way to meet them is for them to address us
yeah. And I don't think they want to do that.
right now, but apparently they might change their mind.
Possibly.
And here's the thing, though. It's like, aliens, they fuck with the 2 a.m. podcast because we
do.
respect them. But the thing is, it's like,
yeah.
when they come, I don't think it'll be a malicious thing. I think it'll most likely be like a welcome to the neighborhood. Because if it was really like a battle over resources and stuff like that, like you said, it would have been done a long time ago. So I think they're just trying to test the water and see where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Seeing how far we can develop. Are we going to internally explode before we actually get to the point of scientific progress or prowess where we make that next jump?
This guy just wants to be the ambassador so fucking bad.
I do so bad.
He just wants to meet aliens.
For
man.
aliens, man.
Fucking dude.
Ambassador
All right,
for
calm
aliens.
down, Chris Pratt. But, god damn. Ambassador of space.
Well, the way I just look at it, it's like, why are you going in angry? You're gonna lose.
No, I
when
get that,
And,
I get that.
And it's like
I get
like
that.
high stakes poker, and you win all in.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose big.
The mentality right now is like, I'm down to start conflict. I'm fucking bored. But you don't see the outcome of it. Which could be hella detrimental to us humans.
But you know what's
We
not
don't know.
detrimental?
We don't know.
You know what's not detrimental?
What?
Can I take a guess?
Take a guess.
It's the
2 a.m.
podcast.
podcast. Yep. Exactly. I knew it.
Now, Big Landy, this is your opportunity to plug yourself shamelessly.
Yes. What's your app, brother?
What projects do you have? Ads, everything.
At Landon Valentine on Instagram, on YouTube as well. SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere there's music.
Yes, sir.
Break It coming out all platforms December 23rd.
Break it.
Don't you forget that.
Yeah.
Break it.
I think that's about it.
All right, well, you heard it here,
R.I.P.
boys and girls. But anyway, it's going to come to a wrap. This has been a pleasure. Landon, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you, good sir.
Hey, thank
Landon
you guys.
Valentine.
Thank
We'll
you guys,
definitely
Dab me up.
bring you back on here again, man.
my boys.
But anyway, you can follow him at Landon Valentine on Spotify, Apple,
Insta, everything.
Insta, SoundCloud, any
YouTube, anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
same name.
Put links
then-
in the description.
Yeah. And then we are on YouTube, so please subscribe, like, and comment. Leave us a note. See how we're doing.
Also, 5-star reviews are very
on
important
Apple
on Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts.
5
Sound like
stars.
Stalin. Give us a 5-star review.
I am
If
not
you don't
happy
give
with
us
the
a 5-star
performance.
review, the aliens will kill you.
Listen, there's only
Those
one
bars.
thing. One thing I ask of you, and it's to 5-star review our Apple Podcasts, because that really
Makes
helps
goddamn
us. It makes a difference, and we get to see the love and support. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.
On a 1, 2,
Two,
a 1, 2,
three.
3, 4.
Peace. Turquoise.
Turquoise.